Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to talk about these coins right here. We have a 1930. We've got a no date, a 1936, and a 1937 American Indian head buffalo nickel. We've also got this coin, which we'll toss in at the end of the video. This is the American bison nickel, which was brought back as part of the Westward Journey series. I've done a few videos about the Westward Journey series, but that ran from 2005 and 2006. That featured the Peace Medal, the Keel Boat, the American Bison right here, and the Ocean in View Ojoy nickel. That was a very cool series, so it's kind of a cool throwback that we had these design coins right here, which were made from 1913 up until 1938. So very cool designs with these coins. We are also going to talk about the metal content of these coins. We'll talk about the value of the ones that have the date versus the ones that don't have the date. We'll talk about the mintages of these coins. The mintage will help drive the value. We'll also talk about the cool 1936 Denver Mint 3.5-legged error coin. So it was actually an error coin associated with the 1936 Denver Mint, in which the reverse design of the coin only has 3.5 legs. The first half of the front leg right here was actually over polished on the die. So when they produced them from the US Mint, the buffalo on the back only had 3.5 legs. All right, I'm going to move some of these out of the way so we can just focus in on two at a time. So this one right here is a rather worn out one. This one right here is a rather good condition one. And as we talk about these, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're into coin collecting. What we aim to do here is post daily videos about different coins that are part of my collection and kind of tell you what to look for in your very own collection. So we've got a 1930 and we've got a no date. As far as the mintage of these coins go, let me give you a little bit of details on that. There are 64 different issues across all dates, mint marks, and major varieties. This number does not include the scarce variety of the 1916 double die or the 1937 three-legged buffalo nickel. So if you're looking to build a set registry, there are 64 of these buffalo nickels that you'll have to try and get your hands on. The mintage across all dates is 1,212,995,000. Now that's actually pretty low compared to the fact that I've done some other videos about the 1968 penny, the 1965 dime, in which for that specific year, there are 1 billion of those coins made. So this coin, these coins right here were made all the way from 1913 up until 1938, and there were only 1 billion made in total. That gives the average mintage for the series of 18 million per coin. The highest mintage is going to be 1936, so that probably explains why I've got a 1936 that's part of my collection right here. That was the one that we looked at right there. So this is the highest mintage across all of the buffalo nickels. There are 119 million of these that were made for 1936. So highest mintage year right here. Only on one occasion did the mintage levels decrease below the 1 million mark, and that was the 1927S buffalo nickel, and there are only 978,000 of those pieces that were made. So if you're looking for a very rare buffalo nickel, you'll have a hard time coming across the 1927S. So that's the San Francisco Mint buffalo nickel. If you've got one that's 1936, 1937, 1938, those are going to have some higher mint. 1936 and 1937 will have higher mintage. 1938 will actually have lower mintage because that's when they started to transition to the Jefferson nickel. All right, so that's the mintages on these. Now, to determine the value, you kind of need to combine both the mintage and the grade. So the buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, requires some identification of the different parts of the nickel. So the high parts of the nickel, these are the areas that are going to wear and tear first, and therefore, if you've got them in good condition, they'll be worth more value. So right here on the Indian's cheek right here, that's going to be a high point on the reverse side of the coin. and the high point on, that's the high point on the obverse side of the coin. The high point on the reverse side will be this area right here, and then this area right here. So those are the high points. Another high point on the obverse is obviously the date area right here. So that's why these wear and tear first. These were not originally designed to have no date on them. It's just a fact of the wear and tear of these coins, which is why there's no longer a date showing. They all originally had a date stamped on them. However, some of them might not have been as fully struck as others. These coins right here would probably get the grade of AG3. Keep in mind the scale goes up to 70, so these would be about good 3. The description of a about good 3, the coin is heavily worn and barely legible. So that's definitely the case with this one right here. We can see the details on the lettering on this one a little bit better, but it's heavily worn and barely legible. Some of the devices, lettering, legends, and dates are worn and smooth, but the date is still readable. Okay, so this one right here wouldn't get that 3 grade. This one right here on the left would, because we can still see that the date is legible. Now going on to the higher grade coins. Now this is important because once we look up the values of this, you'll need to know the grading of the coin. So let's look at the mint state grading. So the first in the mint state grading is going to be a mint state 63. The definition of a mint state 63 is that no traces of wear from the circulation exist. So no traces of wear, definitely not this one. Mint luster is complete but shows minor impairments. So mint luster is kind of the shininess of the coin. When they come out of the mint, they have kind of a nice luster to them, a nice kind of reflection to them. So you'll want to have that for the mint state condition. There will be many contact marks on the mint state 63, bag marks. So bag marks are kind of the coin just bouncing around as it's being produced. You'll see hairline scratches exist on the coin's fields. The fields are the background area of the coin, and the major design elements are visible without magnification. So your design elements such as like the details in the hair, those need to be visible without using a magnifying glass to them. Overall, the coin has attractive eye appeal to get that mint state 63. Now, with that said, I'm going to look up the mintages for a 1936, because that's the most likely coin that you have in your collection, because that is the highest mintage coin. So 1936, the mintage on the Buffalo nickel. Be patient as I kind of get to the right page on the price guide. 1936. So the mintage for a mint state 63, which is what we were talking about earlier with that definition of the no traces of wear from circulation exist, mint luster is complete but minor impairments. So that is going to be worth $40 for a mint state 63. So that's a very valuable coin. If you get into the G4 condition, so in order for it to have the G4, it has to have the date on it. That's going to be worth $1. So this coin right here is going to be worth about $1 from what I gather looking at the price guide known as the Red Book. All right, now we talked about the value of the basic 1936. Now let's get into the value of the 3.5-legged 1936. So we'll bring in, this is the actual 1936 right here, so a pretty good coin. Now the 1936 3.5-legged era coin, very exciting to talk about this one right here. So this info comes to you from the PCGS website. They have graded many 1936 3.5 legs. Now you need to focus in right there. That's where you're going to be looking for to determine if you have that 3.5 leg. So the 1936 Denver Mint 3.5 leg variety was created by over polishing on the reverse die, resulting in the loss of detail on the front foreleg. So the front foreleg is going to be this one right here. The 1936 D 3.5-legged buffalo nickel was created in the same manner, but on a different die where the polishing was more severe. So we've got the 3-legged era coin. We've also got the 3.5-legged era coin. We've got, the 3.5-legged era coin with 1936, and we've got the 3-legged era coin with 1937. The were both caused by over polishing of the die. According to the Cherry Picker's Guide, which I've got and I often reference, there are fewer than 40 examples known for the 1936 D 3.5-legged error. All right, now PCGS has graded a lot of these. The most valuable that they've graded and that has sold at an auction was a Mint State 63. And guess what that sold for? That sold for $20,700 at a Stack's Barrows auction at the March 1st, 2009 Stack's Barrows auction that sold for $20,000. So there are some very high valuable 3.5-legged error coins out there. Most of them are going to come in obviously at the lower grade. But if you've got one that's in a mint state condition, yours could be worth a lot of money. All right, we talked about the old Buffalo nickels. I'm going to bring in one of the new ones. We can see that they're facing the different direction. But this one right here was introduced as part of the Westward Journey series. We've got some feature-length videos about that series if you're interested in it. But on the reverse side right here, we see the American bison, which recognized the Native American and wildlife encountered by Lewis and Clark on their expedition. Expedition journalists detailed the buffalo, and it was the animal of great significance of many Native American cultures. This coin right here was designed by Jamie Franke of Concord, North Carolina. Now, as far as the mintage of this coin goes right here, I'll get that for you. 1 second. So for the American Bison in 2005 at the Philadelphia Mint, there were 448 million of these that were produced. At the Denver Mint, 487 million. At a Mint State 63, these will be worth 35 cents. At a Mint State 65, these will be worth $1.25, and that is both for the Philadelphia and the Denver Mint American Bison nickel. All right, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much, and hopefully I was able to provide some great info on these American Indian Head Buffalo nickels. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy.